Ho, ho, ho. It's snowing outside here at the North Pole, and we were just outside, myself and Mrs. Claus, as well as some of the elves, and we built a beautiful snowman, which reminded me of one of my favorite stories, the story of Frosty the Snowman, who came to life one day. May I read that story with you? Please join me, Frosty the Snowman. Frosty the Snowman came to town one bright cold winter day. The first real snow of the winter had fallen the night before. In the morning out came the children and they started to roll snowballs. Round and round the snowy yard they rolled the snowballs. Soon they had two fine big ones. Round and round the yard again, there was a little snowball, just the right size for a snowman's head. Billy ran home and brought two bits of coal to use for the snowman's eyes and two bits for his buttons. Sally gave him a button nose and an old straw broom. Tommy brought floppy galoshes and a scarf for the snowman, and Joe brought him a pair of old red mittens to wear. They dressed the snowman up. Now we had a hat, said Sally and Joe, so they all began to look around. Sally found an old cap, but it didn't look just right. Billy found a battered felt hat, but it still didn't seem quite right. Just then, down the street, came the whistling wind, and it blew a shiny top hat to their feet. Just what we need, cried Sally and Joe. It's like magic, said Billy and Tommy. It was Tommy who picked up the shiny top hat and put it on the snowman's head. Zing! Tommy's hand sprang back with a shock. It is magic, gasped Tommy. So it is, said a voice in a deep, chuckly voice that they had never heard before. And a pleasant sort of magic, if I do say so myself. It's the snowman, whispered Sally. And so it was. Frosty the Snowman, at your service, he said. And that was how Frosty the Snowman became alive. If you have never had a snowman for a friend, you can't begin to imagine all the fun these children had. Frosty took them coasting, and never had their sleds slid so swiftly and so far. Frosty helped them build the snow house, and never had the blocks packed so firmly and so well. They all went out ice skating, and the magical part was that while they were with Frosty, the children could stay out and play in the snow and never get shivery cold. Was it Frosty's warm heart or his magical smile? Whatever it was, they thought it was fine. Each morning when all the children came out to play, Frosty had a wonderful plan all set. One morning he said, "Let's go shopping today. I've never seen a store, you know." So they all joined hands, and away they skipped off toward town where the shops stood in rows. It was fun showing Frosty around. He thought every window was wonderful. All around the town they led Frosty that day, while the warm wintry sun shone down. Soon they came to a corner, and around the corner came a warm, gusty wind. Off went Frosty's hat, and away went Frosty after it. Then tweet sang the traffic cop's loud whistle. The children could not follow Frosty because traffic was streaming by. Buses and trucks and cars. You must always be careful near the street. Tweet went the traffic cop's whistle again. The crossing stood empty before them now, but there was no sign of Frosty. Only his top hat rolled down the street, all by itself, in the melting snow. "Mr. Policeman," the children cried, "where has Frosty the Snowman gone?" "Oh," said the policeman, "Frosty the Snowman has gone away, where all snowmen go on a sunny day. But he'll be back at your bidding and your call whenever great heaps of snowflakes fall." And he will. You just wait for that fresh snow, and you go out and make Frosty the Snowman find that magical hat to put on him, and you and Frosty have a very Merry Christmas. Ho, 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 ho.